Hi guys, hope you guys are doing well. So these are the notes that you guys should have copied so far, or not the notes, but our LEQ and our topic. Now we're going to start applying trigonometry to real world situations. So what does this mean? You're probably going to see a word problem. I know it's your favorite, so I just couldn't leave it out from our trig section. Question is, how do we use trig ratios to find side and angle measures to real life problems? I'm going to ask you guys to please forgive me because I don't have my stand for my pretend stand for my phone here. So one thing that I need you guys again to remember are those trig ratios that we've talked about. So remember when finding when finding side measures, remember you always used the SOHCAHTOA, so sine of theta, whatever your angle was, and then that was opposite versus the hypotenuse, and then you have the cosine of theta, whatever the angle is, you're given that. And then that's adjacent over hypotenuse. And I hope I'm doing all this right. Yep. Okay, so tangent of theta, that's TOA, so opposite over adjacent, right? Okay, so that's what we know so far. Again, that theta is whatever angle we're talking about. Now, we also talked about last time, so that was when finding side measures. And again, you plug in whatever the angles are. Now, let's say I'm asking you to find angle measures. Now, things change a little bit because remember, we talked about those inverse functions. So we talked about like the inverse sine. Right? And that's obviously the opposite over hypotenuse and so on. Same thing, the inverse cosine, that's actually going to give you the adjacent over hypotenuse, and inverse tangent, that's the same thing. Okay, so I just want you guys to keep these in mind because we're going to be using both of these in these kinds of problems. Something new, so this is just kind of review. Something new is it's a brand new word, and it's called the angle of elevation. Okay, sometimes you're going to see these. Does this pen work anymore? Yep. The angle of elevation. Okay, the reason I'm bringing this up now is because you're going to see this, and it's kind of important because the angle of elevation, if you don't know what that is, you won't be able to solve some of these word problems, okay? So the angle of elevation, I'm just going to tell you what it is. It's always measured. It's an angle. Let me write in color. So an angle that's measured from the ground up. Think about the word elevation, right? So think about elevate, right? You go from the bottom to the top, okay? And so it's always an angle from a horizontal line, and it's always inside the triangle. So I'll show you what I mean in a second. So right now, make sure you have this video and be ready for the next one, okay? I'm sorry, these notes.